Hey there, Smoke Master D coming at you again. This time with a video about M&M Barbecue Company. So I want to start off by saying that I don't have anything against Goldee's Smoker that they've come out with. Really, I have nothing against it at all. But when I looked at M&M Barbecue Company, I felt like this video was begging to be made. These questions were begging to be asked, right? So let's dive in. The Goldees team at Goldees Barbecue, they apparently approached M&M Barbecue Company, some time ago and came to them with a design for a smoker that they thought would perform better than regular smokers. It's a backyard style smoker. So they built it for them, M&M Barbecue Company, and they sent it to Goldees. And now it appears that M&M Barbecue Company is going to be building it. They're going to do a run of some sort. They're going to be out soon, which is great. And everything that we've seen from Goldees, particularly Jirby and his barbecue YouTube channel, has shown us the qualities of this smoker, how evenly it cooks. We've seen where the hot spots are, how manageable they are. And when you look at all of that and what a sort of concept that it is, you would think to yourself, wow, this is going to be really successful. And in ordinary circumstances, something like this would happen. And, a company, maybe a traditional builder, would see how wonderful the design is, and they would want to incorporate it everywhere, right? So, they'd start off with this backyard smoker, and then they'd be like, let's make, our 250 gallon, our 500 gallon, our 1,000 gallon. Let's incorporate this same design feature. And if you're just getting to the party, the design feature we're talking about is a firebox that is sort of separated from the main chamber and connected via a metal tube, right? That keeps the radiant heat from any access pretty much whatsoever to the main chamber, right? It's all in the firebox. There's no opening where that radiant heat comes in. We saw in previous videos where the limited hotspot was. Do check those out if you want to. But the idea is that, this design concept could and maybe should be taken further, right? So what I would expect to see is, M&M Barbecue Company all of a sudden offering these larger pits with this design feature. But that is not what we see. In fact, we see something rather different overall in their larger pits. And recently, M&M Barbecue Company has put out on their Instagram of 2 videos explaining a very different concept design-wise from the Goldee smoker that apparently they've been working on for years now and trying to perfect, wherein they have a way of making these larger pits cook very evenly, side to side, all the way from the side with the firebox to the side with the smokestack. And when you look at their drawings, and I'm going to probably put them up on the screen right here, they have basically 2 entry points for the heat and smoke. And the way that he describes it is that, some goes on top, some goes on bottom. They meet up in the middle at just the right point, and then go the remainder across the grate, and it creates even heating all the way across. So that in itself is a very revolutionary idea. And one thing that, you'll notice on the M&M Barbecue company's website is that they have a patent pending on this design concept. And I haven't seen anything about any patents pending for the Goldees design. So they have something here. And the entire title of this video is, why aren't we seeing the design that they have on their larger pits for a backyard pit? And I have sent messages to them in various forms, phone, email, on the Instagram page itself, asking them if they are going to incorporate this design in a backyard smoker. And I have received nothing. So why? Why is this? Why would they go with Goldee's design over their own design when making a backyard smoker? And I think that it's likely to be something, that the opportunity knocked. I don't know exactly how M&M Barbecue Company and the Goldees people got to know each other, and how they asked for this smoker to be made. M&M Barbecue Company seems to be, they've been around for a while, but they're not maybe as big as some companies. I don't know how these personalities connected and how the Goldee smoker came about. But there are a few possibilities in my mind, a few questions in my mind. I was going to share those with you as to why maybe we aren't getting the M&M Barbecue Company backyard smoker that I think might be even more interesting than the Goldee smoker that's coming out right now. If they could make something that had these even temperatures side to side in the manner that their larger pits supposedly do, we don't have, or I haven't seen as of yet, the hard evidence for this design concept. All I have is their anecdotal evidence from people that they've sold pits to, right? Whereas for the Goldee smoker, we've seen from Jirby's channel the actual test that he's done to show, to legitimize how it works. But and that is actually one of the first things. Maybe the question is, would this design concept work at a smaller scale? Apparently, they have it working at the 250 gallon. So apparently it works on a size that small. But could they bring it down to something like a 94 gallon or the 98 gallon that they have the Goldee smoker? The next question that I have is, on these larger pits, they are incorporating a insulated firebox. Is that necessary to this design concept? And the thing about insulated fireboxes is when you get to 1,000 gallons, they're really kind of necessary. But the smaller you go, the less necessary they become. And as you see on the Goldees pit, it is not insulated whatsoever, right? Just quarter thick steel and that, firebox that they have. So is that part of it? Is it not? I'm thinking not, but it is something that occurred to me. Apparently they have something that's quite special for their insulation. I don't know if that is any part of it at all, really. If I were going to take a guess as to why we don't have an M&M barbecue smoker with their design, their patented design, this is my guess. My guess is that larger pits have also larger margin. So, they sell 1,000 gallon pit, they're making more money off of that pit, right? Do they sell a smaller pit, like a backyard pit? It's much less margin, less money per pit. So you have to sell more of them to make it worthwhile. So if I were going to guess, I would guess that they don't have the confidence that they could sell a large number of backyard pits with their design. Now here comes Goldees, who have become incredibly famous, you know, by becoming the #1 barbecue place in Texas in the Texas Monthly magazine. And they bring to this relationship that fame. So, having the smoker on Jirby's channel, I'm sure that they get some sort of royalties. I'm not entirely sure what the deal is between Goldees and M&M Barbecue Company. But we have to imagine that they're both profiting off of this smoker. But, when they do open the door for it to be made and for orders to come in, there's going to be a lot of orders because we've seen that it works very well. And, it's been promoted by the Jirby Barbecue channel, Ant's Barbecue channel, and the word has gotten out. And maybe that same reception would not be possible if they had released their own design, even if that design is better. Yeah. One thing that I forgot to mention was the question of whether making this smoker from M&M Barbecue Company with their patented design would be too expensive to be competitive in the market, right? So there's a lot of welding work that goes into, making that throat. Would it price it out of the market? The other thing is, it seems like they use tanks, right? Propane tanks. Now, I don't think that in itself should keep them from doing it. Fat Stack seems to have gotten a supply of standardized tanks that they use. So if they didn't have a source of standardized tanks, maybe it would be difficult for them to get that. I can't believe, though, that they couldn't create or fabricate something that would replicate the end of the tank that way for them. So it seems like maybe there could be some complications, but I don't think that they're insurmountable. And the other thing about it is, if it was more expensive, you could have the Goldee smoker down here, and then sort of a higher tier M&M brand backyard smoker for, maybe $5,000 or $6,000. It would be at the high end of the market. Maybe they wouldn't make a lot. But like I said, those are some questions that I have. I don't know what is true or not. Only they can say. I would like to see the M&M Barbecue Company come out with a backyard pit from their patented design in the future. But I understand why they don't want to compete with themselves either. This is a really strange situation, right? It's bizarre. When I figured all this out and looked at, what they have and what they're doing with Goldees, it just kind of blew my mind. So hopefully we'll see this other smoker in the future. And if they are holding out on us, I hope that is not a forever thing. And I do hope that we see that smoker someday, because as you know, I love the engineering side of barbecue, and I like I said at the beginning, I want to see Goldee's smoker do well, but I'd also like to see this other smoker and see what it can do. So that's my thoughts on the M&M Barbecue Company design as it relates to backyard smokers. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. And as always, get out there, make some barbecue, get your smoke on, y'all.